Hi, welcome to my channel, and today is an exciting update on Pan and Ever palette project that I'm doing. I know I do it a little bit different than a lot of people, you know. Uh, Hopefully you've seen my other updates, my other videos, so you know how that's going. Like I just now started going through alphabetically and trying to get a Pan and Ever palette, and I am picking what I want. And I have one Give Me shade, which is my brow shade. Um, so let's get into the exciting updates, though, shall we? So I have the Retro Love Beauty Bay palette, and I hit pan. This is my Give Me shade. It's Can't Hurry Love. It was a little bit darker than I tend to gravitate towards for my brows, but it wasn't bad. And I used it a total of like 24 times. It was practically brand new when I pulled it in. That shade was. And guys, I've been enjoying having these palettes out because it's encouraged me to even just reach into these palettes um, for different shades. And so I've actually used this quite a bit. And I will say that these shimmers on this palette are so good. So good. So I've been enjoying having this out and using it, and now it's going to be put up for a little bit. This has been a really good way for me to see these palettes more often, to get to know them more. I feel like I said, I'm using them more because they are on my desk, and I'm like, you know what, I kind of need this color. And then I'm like, yeah, you know what, the palette on my desk, that one has that color. So I've been using them and getting to know the palettes more. So that palette actually came from Andy Does Stuff, by the way, and this palette also came from Andy Does Stuff. She is a very generous friend of mine who is always gifting me palettes, and so a lot of my palettes come from her. So here is this one, and clearly I hit pan in Hope, and I used it a total of 13 times to hit that pan, and I was so happy to see that pan. I mean, I really enjoyed the color, and I enjoyed using this palette, but it was nice to hit pan in it, I will say. I did use different shades in this palette. I used this black and this blue and these purples and this to create some looks with that shadow actually. But it is now rolling out the Ace Beauty Nostalgia palette. This also came from Andy Does Stuff. My original one um, got sick, and so she sent me a new one. And this is what it looks like. And I hit pan and heat. I will say that that wasn't my favorite shimmer. It was pretty, but it was very almost too emollient and not enough shimmer almost. I did figure out using my finger made it work better. And you know, it wasn't bad. It's pretty. Just, I don't know. I don't know. But I use this palette a ass ton. With it being out, and I had a lot of fun with it. All the bright colors, and like I used the yellow a lot, and the pink, and the orange, and some of the purple. I used this quite a bit and created some looks that I really, really liked. So I'm happy to have pulled this out and you know got to know it even more. This one I used the shimmer 6 times before I hit pan. Like I said, it's kind of a mushy shadow, and I did have to use quite a bit of it to get it where I wanted on my eye. So the next one is the Ace Beauty Oceanic palette, and I hit pan and algae, and I used it a total of 14 times, and I was so glad to see pan. This one in particular, I felt like I was just going to keep going and keep going and keep going. Um, and there was no like grate in it, so I couldn't see like any grate showing up, and like I was getting scared. But I did enjoy that shadow. I do really enjoy that shadow. And also, I use this palette a lot. I paired this a lot with the Ace, not the Ace, the Beauty Bay Shadow Hope. This palette went really well with that color story. I mean, teal, blues, and greens. So it was a good combination. And yeah, and you guys, I hit a surprise pan and a palette. So let's go over that one. I can't tell you how many times I've used this shadow. But this comes from the A Fairy Tale Saint Angel Sinners. Very light. And I hit a very sizable pan in Venus. I love that shade. It is so pretty. It's so pretty. Um, this palette is really pretty. And yeah, it was a surprise pan. I had no idea. Like I was looking for that type of shimmer and was like, I'm gonna pull this in. And I hit pan and I was like, wow, this is exciting. It's a lot of pans this month, I feel like. So you know what that means is we're rolling in four eyeshadows, new ones for um my project, right? And let's just go ahead and get into that. I haven't even picked colors, so I just now looked at my palettes to try and find my give me shade. Since I'm just going through my palettes in order with alphabets. Of course, I get new palettes in sometimes and stuff like that. So, and then some of my palettes are out of my collection, like that I've used this month and things like that. So it won't be 100% in order, but close enough. This is the Be Perfect Carnival Love Tahiti, and I got this from Andy Does Stuff. Of course, I did. And this one is where my Give Me shade is going to come from, and it's going to be the chili pepper. Let's go ahead and swatch that. There's not a lot of usage in it, but there is some usage. So it looks like that. It'll be a good Give Me shade, my brow shade. The next palette is another Be Perfect Carnival palette, and this is the Interstellar palette. This is what this baby looks like. Done blues. It just got done with greens. What do I want to do? I think I'm going to pick Lunar. Let's go with this one. Me yellow. That is more of a pastel yellow, so I'm hoping I can use that for some blending out and things like that. I hope I don't regret that color. I don't know. Maybe I should have thought this through a little bit more. I'm kind of like looking and very quickly picking a shadow. Next palette is the Beauty Bay palette. It's the Dark Fantasy. And I think this is what it looks like. I think I'm going to pick a shimmer and I'm going to pick this Hack shade. That one right there. And it looks like that. I think that I can maybe wear that as an inner corner, as maybe all over the lid, because it's a very light kind of silver pink. And the next palette is a Blend Bunny, and it is Sugar and Grunge. And this one is fairly new to me, so it almost like, oh, do I really want to hit pan in it? But yes, I do, and I do want to get to know this palette more. So, what shade do I want to use? Oh boy, let's go with. I don't know. Let's go with the flannel shade. I'm nervous. Um, looks like that. I think that's an okay color story. I could pair all four of them together, but I could definitely pair these shades together as well. Yeah, wish me luck. A lot of these don't have anywhere in them, so I can imagine it might take me a little bit of time, and that's fine. There's no rush, right? That's what I'm telling myself. And I feel like I'm doing pretty good ish. I know that like some people really just get through it very quickly, but anyways, I'm just gonna go now, and I hope you are enjoying these types of videos from me. And yeah, bye.